Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Allie. I am a wavy curly hair enthusiast, not a professional. Just here sharing tips and tricks on how to help you love your natural hair pattern. Today I'm going to cover my top 10 volume tips on how to achieve the best volume with long hair, or if you have shorter hair, this could work great for you as well. So without further ado, let's jump right in and get right to it. Number one, use lightweight products. Why? You don't want to weigh your hair down. If you're trying to get your hair to defy gravity, you don't want to use heavy products that are going to weigh it down. Now, what's going to work best for your hair is going to be different for everybody. So test and explore different types of products. I would steer away from heavy cream-based products, heavy butter products, things that have some of those denser ingredients that are going to pull your hair down. Mousses tend to be a great option if you like to style with mousse. You also could stick with the gel. If you've been following me, you've seen my favorite products video, you know that I do love gel. I use it frequently in almost all of my routines. So finding a nice lightweight product to help prevent from weighing your hair down. Tip number two, avoid applying product directly to your roots. Applying product to your roots can help pull them flat and make your hair stick to your scalp, which you want to avoid if you're looking for volume around the crown. Now, an exception to this rule might be mousse. If you like to add a little bit of grit to your roots, which I like to do, you can put a little bit of mousse near your roots, but go easy on it. Don't get heavy-handed because, again, it will pull the weight down. Another thing to touch on in this category is if you plop. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I used to plop, so that means collecting your hair into a microfiber towel or cotton t-shirt and letting it sit on top of your head so you can put on your makeup, get dressed. Helps speed up drying time, which is why people like to do it. But I always throw caution to the wind to not do it for too long, because if you have your hair collected on top of your head under a towel, all of that product can drip down into your roots, even if you avoided applying it to that area. So don't plop for too long. If that is something that you like to do, that's perfectly fine. But just a tip, that's something that I don't really do anymore because I've noticed that the product does get directly into my roots, sticks to my scalp, and it makes it a bit more of a mess. Now, an extension of step two is that if you're upright styling, which many of us style upside down, some of us choose to style upright because being upside down can be a little bit uncomfortable, is to make sure that when you're applying your product in sections, you're pulling your hair away from your scalp. Up and away tends to be the best. So consider that technique when applying product and distributing it, that you're pulling your hair outward and you're not brushing it straight down, because again, you wanted to defy gravity a little bit, and pulling it down is just going to kill your volume. Step number three, introduce micro plopping into your routine. So micro plopping is different from regular plopping. If you're curious to see a tutorial on how to plop, I have a whole video about that separately in my channel. Micro plopping is when you take your microfiber towel or your cotton t-shirt and you use it to squish out the excess water. So I like to apply my cream on soaking wet hair, squish out the excess water, and then apply gel. What's nice about this is that it does speed up drying time. It removes the weight of the water that's pulling your hair down, and then by applying your hardest hold styler like a gel last, you actually can use less gel. In my case, this may not be true for everyone, but I've noticed that I use a lot less of my hard hold styler in the last step if my hair is not as wet. So I can still easily coat my hair with the harder hold styler, get a great cast because there's less water in my hair, and still achieve some really awesome results. Number four, diffusing upside down and side to side. Now, some of you out there are watching this in your air dryers. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying stop doing that, but I'm saying you're probably going to achieve a bit more volume if you diffuse. The reason why is because you're not walking around with water in your hair that's pulling it down. Again, that's going to kill the volume at the root. So by diffusing, you can target drying your roots first, work down the lengths, and you'll get more lift from doing that, especially by targeting your roots first. I choose to hammock diffuse. If you're new here, there's a whole video on how to do that in my channel, but essentially it helps lift the weight of your hair up because when it's wet, it pulls down, and it also allows the root to curl up. It gives it a better chance to curl up by removing the weight of your hair. So if you have longer hair, that is my preferred method for diffusing. Number five, root clipping. Now, I don't always like to root clip. I'm kind of a lazy wavy, I'm very honest about that, but this is a nice step that a lot of people do choose to take. Now, you can use these standard metal clips. You've probably seen these floating around the internet. A lot of people like to use these. I don't like to use these because these edges are really thin and they snag in my hair very easily. But essentially what you do is you slide them in upright so they're standing up, and you clip the root. This helps your hair stand up. Now you root clip, at least I root clip when my hair is about 90% dry. So as I'm diffusing and my hair is about 90% dry, I stop. I would put my clips in all around my crown, specifically targeting around my face to get that extra lift, and finish drying to 100%. You can finish diffusing for the last 10% or air dry for the last 10%. I always just finish off with diffusing. Now, another way to do it, the way I would prefer to do it, is to use these little claw clips. They're just size small Goody Clips. You can get them from most drugstores or retailers. You can use these two different ways. You can use them standing up in sections or coming top down and lifting that way. These are a little bit gentler on the hair. They're easier to get in and out. And I use these a million other ways, so these are just kind of a nice staple accessory in my arsenal. Step number 6, fluffing your roots with your fingertips and a comb or a pick. So after my hair is 100% dry, I like to get my hands into my hair, into my roots, and shake them up. You've probably seen me do this in all of my tutorials when I'm washing my hair. So I like to really get in there and shake. If you feel like you've gotten some product a little bit closer to your root, you can also do kind of a claw hand where you stick your hand in and open your fingers up to help pull any hair off of your scalp. This is really great too if you tend to get a messier section in the back where your hair will stick to your head if you're styling upside down. It will help release the hair from your scalp. Don't be afraid to get in there and really get going, but I would suggest doing it when your hair is 100% dry. Some people do like to fluff right before their hair is completely dry. That works great if you can do that. Otherwise, I choose not to because it does tend to give me a little bit more that halo frizz, which I like to avoid. You can also use a pick or a wide tooth comb to lift with the roots. So after I'm done fluffing, I like to go through with a wide tooth comb and just help lift. I'm not brushing this through my hair. I'm lifting a couple of inches just to help give myself that little extra oomph that I might not get by ruffling my hair up with my fingers. Number 7, breaking up big curl clumps. So we all love these nice juicy curls when they come out, especially when they've clumped together and you get a nice little barrel ringlet. Now sometimes they're really big and you shouldn't be afraid to break them up, especially if you're going after volume. So you might take a piece like this, separate it, and it's bigger. The reason is that it's stacking on top of itself. So instead of having one big clump that's heavy and pulling down, this actually will allow you to fluff it up a little bit better. So don't be afraid to get in there and break up some of those curl clumps to achieve that desired volume. Number 8, sea salt spray. This is not gonna go over well for everyone, and that's perfectly okay. One thing is not great for everyone. So this is something I absolutely love, is to use sea salt spray. This adds a little bit of grit and kind of helps my hair fluff up, if that makes sense, but in a really good way. So I like to mist this around my crown when my hair is damp or when it's 100% dry. And then I let the sea salt spray dry before I get in there and start touching it, because I don't want it to be wet and to create more frizz in my hair, but I like to spray it around my crown, flip my hair around, get it in different areas, and then let it dry. That, like I said, creates quite a bit of grit in my hair, so I can go like this and it stands up better. Now you want to use this sparingly because it can be very drying. A little bit goes a long way. So you can even move it down into the lengths of your hair to help restore some of those waves and curls that might be falling a little bit flat. But if you use a lot of this, you're going to want to sit and hang out with your deep conditioner the next day because, like I said, it will dry your hair out quite a bit. 9. Get a trim or a haircut. You probably saw this one coming, and not everybody wants to do a big chop, and I don't think that you necessarily have to. But if you want more volume, getting some layers put into your hair, some very strategically placed layers in your hair, can help give you more lift. So I have done both wet cuts and loved them, and I've had a diva cut and loved it. I don't think that I have a preference over one to the other. If you're curious about my diva cut experience, you guessed it, I have a full review on my channel, but a little bit about my wet cut. I would typically get layers started just below my chin, all around, and then brought down. Again, this allows your hair to stack on top of itself and gives you more body. So something to look into. I would say if you're curious about doing one over the other, ask around, consult with a stylist before you go in, but having a good haircut can make all the difference in how much volume you can achieve. Number 10, embrace the frizz. None of us are immune to it, so I think if you're trying to target volume, it's okay to accept it. Work with your hair. If it's really frizzy in one particular place and it really bothers you, you can use light oils to smooth it down. You can get a little bit of mousse to help smooth it down, but if you're adding water to your hair, it is going to make it puffier. At least in my case, it does. So I like to try to avoid adding water where possible, but using some of those lightweight products to help maintain that volume. But we are on day 3. I do have plenty of frizz in my hair despite the lighting that I'm sitting in. I think frizz is something that we should all just love and embrace, especially if you want your hair to puff to the heavens. So embrace the frizz. It can be your friend and it can make your hair look lioness. But wait, there's more. So I have a couple of bonus tips as well. So as I mentioned, this is day 3 hair. I get the best volume over the course of my wash day. The reason why mainly is because I pineapple when I sleep. So this is a nice satin scrunchie that I got off of Bardot Bow Gallery on Etsy. Absolutely love this. It's adorable with a little bow on it. But I like to pineapple when I sleep, and I sleep on a silk pillowcase that gives me a lot of volume the next day because my hair has been pulled up all night. So there's quite a bit of lift when it falls down. The next thing that I really like to use, and you may have heard me mention this in some other videos, is my Zazzybandz Headband. So it's shaped like sunglasses. It has a nice little gripper in there, but it doesn't snag. And what I like to do is flip my hair the opposite direction that I want to wear it. So if I want my hair parted on this side and that's how I want to wear it, then I'll flip my hair to the opposite side and then put this in my hair to help lift my hair up off of my face until I'm ready to go. So if I'm working around the house in the morning, I'm dealing with my kids, and then I need to go out later, I'll keep my hair pulled up like this. Keeps it off of my face, but it doesn't crush my curls. And then when I'm ready to leave, I'll take it down, flip my hair back in the direction that I want it to sit, and I'll have that extra lift from my hair working against itself on the opposite part, if that makes any sense at all. But this is something that I absolutely love, and I am so pleased to have this in my arsenal of accessories. So something to look into. Otherwise, that's it, guys. If you have any other questions or you have your own volume tips, please share them with us below. Otherwise, please continue to reach out and let me know what you want to see. I'm happy to keep delivering the videos that you love most. All right, we'll talk soon, guys. Thanks.